If you're in your 20s and you feel like you're falling behind financially, you're not bad with money, you're not lazy, and you're definitely not alone. A lot of people in their 20s are working. They're earning and they're trying to do the right things, but still feel stuck, anxious, or they feel like they're already really far behind. Let's go through what no one really explains about financial progress and what it looks like when you're in your 20s. The truth is your 20s aren't about being rich. I know you might really want that right now, but they're about building the foundations that make wealth later. Okay, so this video is for you if you're earning an income, but it still feels tight. If you're overwhelmed by advice on investing and property and getting ahead, or you're comparing yourself to others and wondering if you've already missed the boat. Let's focus on what's normal and what's not. My name is Melanie Davies. I'm a licensed independent financial advisor. Everything I share today is general information only, not personalised advice, so always get advice tailored to your own situation before making any financial decisions. My financial services guide is available to download from the description box below. Your 20s are financially heavy, not financially weak. One of the biggest misconceptions is that struggling in your 20s means you're falling behind. But your 20s are really expensive. You're often dealing with an entry-level income or early career income, or maybe you're still studying and working as many hours as you possibly can. Then there's rent, often you're paying board at home, and there's rising living costs. There's student debt and other forms of debt, and you're setting up your life from scratch. There's furniture, cars, moving costs, bills, insurances. The list goes on, and you're still trying to enjoy being you and having a life. In most cases, that's not poor money management. It's a high-cost phase of life. Most people don't have any surplus money yet, and that's normal. Financial progress in your 20s is mostly invisible. Here's what nobody tells you. Real financial progress in your 20s often doesn't look like progress. It looks like learning how to budget, even if it's messy and you run out of money. It's understanding where your money actually goes. It's making mistakes with small amounts of money, not really big life-changing ones, and it's figuring out what not to do again. You're not behind if you're learning. You're behind if you never learn. This decade is about education. It's not about optimization. In your 20s, you don't need to have it all together yet. Social media creates unrealistic expectations and unrealistic timeframes. It makes it seem like by 25, everyone should be investing, owning property, having great savings, or be traveling, or have a perfect lifestyle. But real life doesn't work like that. Everybody's different. Most people build wealth gradually and not suddenly. Everybody's situation is different, and almost no one builds it without a few wrong turns first. Everyone's got other commitments that they need to meet. But what actually matters financially in your 20s, instead of chasing wealth, focus on these foundations. First of all, cash flow awareness. So for some people, you don't need to have a perfect budget if you're still living at home. Now, you're the minority, but you do need to know what comes in and what goes out. If you don't have that kind of support at home, and most people don't, even if you think that they do, sit down and work out what your commitments are, work out your expenses per fortnight, and compare it to your income. I'll link to a budget planner below. It's not hard, it's the easiest thing to do. The government website called Money Smart have a great one. I've used it myself. It's the best way to get in control of your cash flow, and it's the first step to create wealth. Don't skip this step because you'll pretty much need to know how to do this for the rest of your life. The next one is the emergency buffer. Even a small emergency fund gives you breathing room and it reduces stress. This is the important one. Have a direct debit in place every time you get paid and move a small amount across to a separate bank account. Eventually, you'll be able to cope with unexpected bills from nowhere. And further on down the track, this excess that you're now in the habit of doing will start to be redirected off to your new investment portfolio. And that's where your real wealth progress begins. Try 5% of your pay, aim for that to begin with. The next one is avoiding bad debt. High interest debt like credit cards and buy now, pay later can really hold you back for years, so stay away from those. The next one is superannuation basics. You don't need to obsess over it, but understanding your super early makes a huge difference. Confidence is another one. Being able to talk about money, ask questions, and seek advice, that's a skill, and all that information compounds over time. So why is comparison the fastest way to feel like you're failing? One of the biggest blockers in your 20s is comparison, because behind the scenes, you don't see family help, inheritances, different starting positions of different people, private struggles. Most people feel like they're falling behind because they're comparing their starting point to somebody else's long-term outcome. Focus on you, because progress grows quietly over time. So the reframe that you need in your 20s, here's the mindset shift I want you to take away. Your 20s aren't about building wealth. They're about building financial capability. And if you do that well, your 30s become powerful, your 40s become strategic, and your future becomes flexible. If this video made sense, let me know in the comments. What's the hardest part of managing money in your 20s right now? And if you want more practical, realistic money advice for real life, subscribe below and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for joining me.